The applause was still ringing in the rafters when the doors finally closed behind him. By sunrise, he would be banished forever from the very stage that made him famous. Chevy Chase wasn't just a comedian. He was a symbol. A man who, for a time, carried the weight of American humor on his back, all while hiding something much heavier inside himself. He built a career on laughter, yet somehow ended up alone in silence. How does a man go from being the golden face of Saturday Night Live to becoming one of the most notoriously difficult people in Hollywood? How much pain can a person bury beneath a joke before the mask finally slips? Born into wealth and prestige, Cornelius Crane Chase, known to the world as Chevy, was never meant to be ordinary. His lineage traced back to the Vanderbilt dynasty, one of America's most powerful families, their name carved into the country's economic and social foundation. With such privilege, it would be easy to assume he had everything handed to him. But beneath the surface of that elite upbringing was a childhood filled not with comfort, but with fear. After his parents divorced when he was just 4 years old, his world became one of confinement and cruelty. His mother and stepfather didn't just discipline him, they abused him. Locked doors, harsh beatings, and emotional wounds would follow him into adulthood, lingering quietly behind the clever one-liners and exaggerated pratfalls. The scars weren't visible, but they never faded. Chevy's early education was just as chaotic as his home life. He bounced between prestigious institutions, getting expelled more than once, his rebellious streak more survival instinct than teenage mischief. At Riverdale and Stockbridge, he made waves with elaborate pranks and razor-sharp wit. He was a valedictorian, yes, but also a troublemaker. He once led a cow into a college dorm room at Haverford, an act that got him expelled but somehow added to his mythos. Even back then, he wasn't content to just follow rules. He had to bend them, break them, and rewrite them with a laugh. Though comedy would eventually define him, Chevy's first love was music. At Bard College, he played drums in a jazz band alongside future Steely Dan legends Donald Fagen and Walter Becker. The rhythm, the timing, it would all become essential in his later work as a comedian. By 1967, Chase was already experimenting with satire, joining the Channel 1 comedy troupe, where sketches were replaced by edgy, satirical video loops. It was bold. It was strange. It was new. That same creative fearlessness landed him a spot in The Groove Tube, a low-budget film that sparked cult interest and laid the groundwork for something even bigger. In 1973, he joined the National Lampoon Radio Hour with future stars like John Belushi, Gilda Radner, and Bill Murray. Their humor was quick, dark, and often politically charged, perfect for the chaotic world of the 1970s. That same year, Chase co-created the stage show Lemmings, a biting parody of Woodstock that showcased not only his writing and musical talents but his ability to turn cultural events inside out. His voice soon echoed through Mad Magazine, aligning him with the best minds in American satire. He was building a name, piece by piece, and then came the moment that would change everything. It happened at the premiere of Monty Python and the Holy Grail in 1975. Chevy, never shy about stealing the spotlight, cracked jokes and did impressions until he eventually fell, literally, into a puddle. That fall, soaked and ridiculous, wasn't just funny. It was magnetic. Lorne Michaels and NBC executive Dick Ebersol were watching. They saw not just the man but the possibilities. By the end of the year, Chase was cast in the debut season of Saturday Night Live. His segment, Weekend Update, became a national sensation. The phrase, "I'm Chevy Chase, and you're not," captured a generation's hunger for irony. His impression of President Gerald Ford, exaggeratedly clumsy and absurd, stuck so deeply in public memory that even Ford himself couldn't help but laugh. In just one season, Chevy won 2 Emmys and a Golden Globe. He was America's favorite funny man, the unflinching face of a new kind of comedy. But just as quickly as he rose, he walked away. Officially, he cited financial reasons and a romance with actress Jacqueline Carlin. Unofficially, whispers of friction with the cast had already begun. He was brilliant, yes, but also arrogant, dismissive, sharp-edged in ways that cut deeper than any punchline. Still, the world followed him. His first major film role came in 1978's Foul Play, which earned 7 Golden Globe nominations and grossed over $44 million. Chase had turned down a part in Animal House for this role, and it paid off. Hollywood was his playground now. In the 1980s, he became a box office titan with classics like Caddyshack and the National Lampoon's Vacation series. As Clark Griswold, Chevy was every dad on the worst family trip imaginable, a character so relatable and absurd it became iconic. He made $7 million a film at his peak, comedic royalty in every sense. But royalty often comes with a price. On set, stories began surfacing of his perfectionism, his temper, and his ego. Co-stars clashed with him. Directors grew tired. His sharp tongue and insistence on control left many feeling like they were walking on eggshells. In Fletch, his ad-libbed lines created gold on screen, but the tension behind the camera told a different story. His feud with John Belushi turned physical during an SNL episode. His return to host in 1978 led to a fistfight with Bill Murray backstage. Chase didn't just burn bridges. He set fire to entire cities. The cruelty wasn't limited to rivals. In 1985, he humiliated cast member Terry Sweeney, one of the show's first openly gay performers, with jokes that crossed every line. He was reprimanded but showed no regret. By 1997, he returned to host SNL again. But this time, things went even further. He allegedly struck cast member Sherry O'Terry and made lewd comments to women on the show. Witnesses, including Will Ferrell, were stunned. The result? A permanent ban. Chevy Chase was no longer welcome in the house he helped build. Outside of SNL, his career was already wobbling. Chris Columbus, originally set to direct Christmas Vacation, left the project after a miserable interaction with Chase. That one decision redirected Columbus toward Home Alone, which became one of the biggest hits of all time. Meanwhile, Chase's own projects began faltering. His 1993 self-titled sitcom, built with high hopes and a massive budget, bombed after just 5 weeks. Reviews were scathing. Ratings plummeted. Chevy blamed the format, the network, everything but himself. He vowed never to do it again. His later role on Community might have revived his reputation, but old habits returned. On set, he reportedly aimed racist and jealous insults at co-star Donald Glover. He used the N-word in frustration. Yvette Nicole Brown left in protest. Eventually, the showrunners wrote his character off the series entirely. At a season wrap party, the cast and crew famously chanted, F********************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************* insults and even a death wish, sealed his fate. There was no coming back. The chaos wasn't just on sets. In 2018, he got into a roadside altercation on a New York highway. He believed someone had hit his car, confronted the driver, and ended up assaulted, left on the pavement. Even then, people barely recognized him until they Googled his name. His image, once plastered across screens and magazine covers, had faded. Through it all, Chevy never apologized. In 2022, when asked about his reputation, he simply said, "I don't give a crap. I am who I am." Maybe that's true. Maybe it's defiance. Or maybe it's a man who, long ago, built a wall between himself and the world, only to realize too late that he was the one trapped inside. It's easy to remember the Chevy who made us laugh until we cried, who stumbled through scenes with perfect comedic timing, who delivered lines that became part of pop culture forever. It's harder, but just as important, to recognize the man behind the jokes. A man shaped by pain, success, ego, and alienation. Chevy Chase changed comedy. That much is undeniable. He redefined the sketch show, led a generation of films that shaped American humor, and gave the world some of its most memorable characters. But along the way, he also left behind a trail of conflict, controversy, and isolation. His story isn't just one of fame, it's one of consequences. And in the end, it's a reminder that talent, no matter how bright, can't always outrun the shadow it casts. If you found this story compelling, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more deep, honest looks at the stars behind the spotlight.